In the matter of Dilip Kumar Pandey versus Union of India, Supreme Court held that the writ petitions filed by the appellants were maintainable and the impugned orders were set aside, clarifying the position of law. The issue involved in these two appeals was whether the Air Force School Bamroli in District Allahabad was a state or authority within the meaning of Article 12 of the Constitution of India. Air Force schools were established in year 1966 for imparting education to children of personnel of Indian Air Force. Indian Air Force Educational and Cultural Society was registered under the Society's Registration Act 1860. It was registered on 10th November 1987. It was established to manage Air Force schools. The Air Force schools at Bamroli applied for affiliation with Central Board of Secondary Education in 1985. The court said in this case that we cannot be oblivious to or unmindful of the purpose behind establishment of the schools to take care of the need of IAF personnel who may be posted at faraway places not having educational facilities as also taking into account safety and security. Court said we find that many such schools have been established within the campus of IAF bases or establishments itself. This incrementally would also exhibit that schools enjoy privileges and facilities on account of its linkage to and control by the Indian Air Force. Court said that upon scrutiny of the fact and circumstances from various angles, we have not the slightest doubt that the committee or the school would come within the ambit of authority as implied in the said article. Further, the committee or school would also be covered under the other authorities in the context of Article 12 of the Constitution. On a deeper probe, court said it appears that non-public funds is a misnomer in as much as while it may not be labeled as public funds, but the nature is public for the reason that it includes direct funding from the Air Force unit or station, and most importantly, it is also supplemented by the regimental fund. Another reason was that even the so-termed non-public funds were used for welfare measures for the IAF personnel, such as establishment of canteens, etc., and are exempt from income tax and other statutory taxes, meaning that the government foregoes its share by way of taxes on such funds. If the funding is not direct, indirect support of Government of India or Ministry of Defence through providing land, granting tax exemptions, and at all is clearly borne out from the record. While commenting on judgments referred by the ASG, Union of India versus Chotelal and R.R. Pillai versus Southern Air Command, Indian Air Force, court said that these judgments are not applicable and can be distinguished on facts. The Chotelal judgment dealt with the issue as to whether dhobis appointed to wash the clothes of cadets at National Defence Academy, Khadak Wasla, who are paid from a fund called Regimental Fund, can be said to be holders of civil posts so as to confer jurisdiction on the Central Administrative Tribunal, whereas R.R. Pillai judgment dealt with the status of employees of a unit-run canteen in the armed forces. Thus, both relied on cases wherein controversy was pertaining to the status of concerned employees, whereas herein the subject matter is completely different, relating to the amenability of the school or committee while discharging a public function and performing a public duty, namely of imparting education and discharging public function to writ jurisdiction under Article 226 of the Constitution. Quite perceptibly, even the terms and conditions of service and nature of duties considered in Chotelal judgment and R.R. Pillai judgment were very different. Analogy can be drawn at this stage with similar autonomous bodies of the governments, both central and of state, where core managing body of like institutions, including fully or partly funded by public funds, consists of government officials. Such institutions are distinct entities, autonomous and free to take their decisions. But the persons taking those decisions, even on a daily basis, are government officials. Similarly, while the IAFE and CS, the supreme body governing the schools consisting of IAF personnel, it is actually the IAF itself which is in command. In other words, every government official in acting as part of a core managing body referred to above as part of his or her public duty continues to be a government official even if taking decisions individually as part of the core managing body is part thereof by reason of the factum of being a government official and not for any other reason. Here comes into play the distinction between a private individual acting totally in private capacity as opposed to a government official in the present case being IF personnel in view of this court are actually acting in their official capacity and position by the mere fact of them being the personnel of IF. Thus, it cannot be said that the IFE and CS or the committee functions dehors the trappings of any official control of the IF. As discussed, not just control but deep, pervasive, and effective control on the school through the committee finally rests with the IAFE and CS.